Mina, and thank you so much for tuning into this video and visiting my channel. On my channel, I talk about, if you're new, I talk about everything related to me on this journey of living outside the United States as a solo traveler, and just everything comes with it. Also budgeting, hair, things like that. So if you're ready to go on this adventure with me, feel free to hit that subscribe button. In this video specifically, I'm going to be talking about and answering all the questions that I posted on my Instagram. Everyone go ham, ask whatever questions you have, and I'll be answering all those questions on this video today. So at the end, if you like this video, please feel free to like it, and let's get into it. All right, so the first question and the most occurring question that I got was, why Ecuador? ¿Por qué Ecuador? And I say, ¿por qué no Ecuador? So I say, like, why not? I said in my other video where I just talk about my whole story, but I just solidified that my core goal was to get out of the United States. So it wasn't necessarily about picking, like, it wasn't necessarily my gravitation to Ecuador specifically. It was more like I had different criteria. My criteria was, number one, I wanted to go somewhere that was doing reasonably well with COVID-19, and number two, a place that had low cost of living. And there's other things that brought me and I liked about Ecuador, so I wanted picking it. But I think to answer this question, it's not a really clear answer, because my goal wasn't, I'm gonna go move to Ecuador. My goal was, I'm getting out of the United States. So that moves me to my next question, which was, why did you leave the United States? And it's also a complicated answer, but I just wasn't living a life that I wanted anymore. I wasn't happy. I felt very stifled. I felt very, it just wasn't what I wanted for myself anymore. I'd spent a lot of time in the last year working on myself and just healing and all these different things. And it's built within me this wanting to honor myself, my feelings, honor, how I'm treating myself in a way that me keeping myself in a situation or an environment that wasn't conducive to me being happy, conducive to me feeling like I'm living a life that I want, that wasn't honoring myself. So I guess to answer that, with the revolution that's happening, with the, I guess overall with me, I got the awareness of how deeply rooted these problems that we are fighting in the US, how deeply rooted they are. Like, I realized, like, this isn't going to be a policy change. This isn't going to change with banning, like, any type of, like, this is embedded in the DNA of America. Police, like, state-sanctioned violence, like, police, like, all that stuff, like, that's, like, I won't get into all that, but with that awareness of that, also I was having trouble, like, with my health and dealing with going to doctors and not being heard, not being listened to. Just overall, like, the last months have been very traumatic. And I think recognizing that trauma wasn't necessarily, it just wasn't something I was willing to put up with anymore. And I truly believe in the saying, you cannot heal in the same environment in which you got sick. So I was tired of being sick. I was sick and tired, I guess. And I wanted better for myself. And I knew that while moving out of the country, I'll never tell anyone moving out of the country solves all your problems. Like, I still have challenges. I still go through things. I'm still living life. But the challenges that I was willing to put up with, like I'm not okay with being scared walking down the street that a police officer may pull me aside and, like, whatever. But what I'm okay with dealing with language barriers. I'm okay with dealing with, like, different things like that. So it's like figuring out what you as a person, what you're willing or not willing to deal with. And a lot of the struggles and challenges I dealt with in the US were so deep and so just discomforting that I just wasn't willing to deal with it anymore. Not to say I'll never go back to the US, but that brings me to the next question. How long are you staying? So like I said in my other video, my plan since last year was I was going to stay abroad for a year. I'm still keeping that, so I'm not necessarily staying in Ecuador. My tourist visa is for 90 days, so 3 months. So I plan to stay here at least that long. And then at the 3 month mark, 2 month mark, I'm probably going to reevaluate, okay, do I want to stay here longer, extend my visa another time? Do I want to go to a new country? Things like that. So, but also I acknowledge that I may get a year from now and my life may be completely different. My wants, my goals, my desires, whatever the case may be different. So I don't feel comfortable putting kind of like a time limit on myself. My plan is to just live as authentically as I can and trust my gut, trust my intuition, and whatever feels right and whatever is the best decision for me at the time is what I will do. But as of right now, I'm pretty sure unless something happens, I mean, I may come back earlier, I plan to at least be out of the United States for about a year. That may change, but that's as of right now. So I got a question. First thing I did when I got here, I went through customs. No, but all seriously, I went through customs. I got off the plane, which you guys saw. I had to like show them my like documents, like my like COVID-19 test, things like that. From there, I got to my hotel, checked in, and actually I got there and it was late. That whole day I'd only eaten one meal. It was rough. I should just do a video on that alone. It was rough. And actually the hotel drove me to a gas station. The airport shuttle guy drove me to a gas station so I could grab some snacks. The gas station was closed, so I guess he knew someone because they like came up to the door and was like, "What do you want?" And like I had to like point out stuff, and then they gave it to me. I gave them the money, but yeah, I haven't really done anything too exciting yet. I'm still kind of adjusting. Like, I'm not really in a tourist vacation mindset. I'm in a mindset of let me adjust to my new home, let me adjust to my new surroundings. So I'm kind of taking my time exploring the neighborhood I live in, kind of seeing food places, where I need to go to get what, things like that. So I plan to do like exciting things or whatever, but I'm just kind of taking my time, and plus it is still COVID-19. So yeah. I thought this was a funny question. Ecuador or Thailand? I love Thailand. Like, love Thailand. Like, I don't think a day or a couple days go by without me bringing up like, oh, in Thailand. Like, I won't say I can answer that question because I lived in Thailand 3 months. So maybe at the 3 month mark, once I've been here, I can say, but I'll definitely say like Ecuador is pretty dope so far. But I can't answer that just yet. COVID-19 in Ecuador. So I will do a full video on this, but they're taking COVID-19, and this person said versus United States, they're taking COVID-19 a lot more seriously. Like, for example, and I'll have videos and footage and pictures of this, but for example, when you go into the mall, number one, you have to be wearing your mask. Like, they're not letting you in without a mask. Number two, you go through a disinfection tunnel, which is like a spray that like you get sprayed with like disinfection stuff. And then they check your every person gets their temperature checked once you get to the door, and then you have to put on hand sanitizer. That alone, to me, I'm like, I feel a lot safer walking into this. And also just to get in the country, like they check your temperature, they check my COVID-19 test, like all these different things. Like in the US, I went through like airport to airport to airport. They didn't ask me, they checked my temperature, nothing, nada. So just from that standpoint, and even like you go to restaurants or things like that, me personally, I'm kind of sticking to going to restaurants if I can eat outside, things like that, because I'm just trying to stay a little more safer. But you'll even have like restaurants that will spray you with disinfectant, or different stores. Most of every store, except for like small like mom and pop stores, like they'll check your temperature, ask you to put on hand sanitizer when you walk in, things like that. What's next? Safety. I feel pretty safe here. Now, here's the thing. Me personally, so like I don't go out after dark unless I'm going with like a group of people or I'm with other people. But that's also a standard I had in the US. Like unless I was going to the library, like on campus, like I didn't leave the house by myself at night, like unless like I just didn't. So that's not something I would do here, but walking around here, I feel safe. The area I live in is like a city beach town type thing, so like if you look up Ecuador, like the most prevalent crime is like petty crime. Like at the end of the day, I feel pretty safe here. I don't go out at night by myself, but if I am with people, I will go out after dark, things like that. Why now? I just kind of just kept on hearing this voice inside me saying, get out, get out, get out, get out now, go. Like, and I listened to it. I was like, okay. I was like, I have the money to do this. I have the resources. I have I've done my searching and my information. Let me just go. And I did it. So, and I think the months before I left, I just kept getting more and more signs or reasons why I should go. Like I kept going to the doctor and no one was listening to me. Like that's a big thing. Like I've been here like a week. I've already gone to like three different doctors. Like, and I've gotten more like better medical care and cheaper medical care than I have in the US. Like I saw a physical therapist for like $25. What? Like, I don't even know. So it this probably isn't the best answer, but that's just, I just listened to my intuition and it told me now, and I didn't really have a reason not to go. Like I said in the other video, I don't have any kids, I don't have no husband. I had the resources I needed to come here, and I told myself at the end of the day, like, COVID, if it's COVID I'm scared of, there's more COVID, or COVID is worse in the United States. So, and COVID's worldwide. COVID's everywhere. There's nowhere to go, there's no COVID. So, yeah. How hard is it not knowing the language? I mean, it's difficult in some ways. I'm not fluent in Spanish. I know a little bit of Spanish, but I'm actually learning a lot already so far, which I'm excited about. I plan to do some structured, I don't know if I'm gonna do tutoring or like structured classes. I'm still trying to decide on that, but my goal is to be at the least conversational in Spanish so I can be able to get around. If I'm able to afford it, resources to become fluent, then I will. I would say it's not, like you can eat, your basic needs can be met without knowing Spanish, I think. It could be hard, but I mean, you can go to a restaurant and like point, like, oh, I want to eat this, or you can, Google Translate is also a thing. So I think nowadays, like with how much technology and just like creativity you can maneuver, you can make it happen. But I mean, going to the doctor or trying to get like a SIM card, like there's some things that you probably shouldn't use Google Translate for, things like that. But I've also been fortunate to find people and communities and meet friends that can help me with those things. So like someone went with me to go get a SIM card, so it's like, okay, I know what's going on, things like that. And the last question that I will answer, because I think that's it. How are you liking it? I'm loving it so far. I won't say there aren't challenges. Like one of the days I was here in my apartment, I had ants for a little bit. That was stressful. I've had some issues with, language barriers once in a while. So I won't say it's like peachy, like everything's fine, this is a utopia, like no. But I think for the most part, like my quality of life has gone up. Like I just, like fruits and vegetables are more accessible, more and cheaper here. I just feel like I'm in a place where I can forge a better starting life for myself. Like I don't plan on staying in Ecuador for the full year. I plan to go to other countries. I wanna experience other cultures, other foods, meet people, all those different things. So I think Ecuador for me was just that starting point of, okay, this is a safe place where, COVID is doing relatively well. I can find decent housing and food for good, like a decent cost of living. Also, we'll do a cost of living video as well. So this is kind of the starting point, and so far it's been pretty great. So I'm liking it. I'm liking it. So yeah, that's all I have, y'all. Thank you so much for submitting those questions. I hope I gave you some insight into what's going on with me over here in South America. But feel free if you have any more questions or any comments, put them down there in the comment section. Please subscribe if you enjoyed it, like this video, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.